News investigation into the safety of our drug supply. There have been dozens of recalls of blood pressure medications taken by millions of Americans because the ingredients were contaminated with a probable carcinogen. Now, a former FDA inspector speaks out for the first time about the disturbing things he saw in the overseas factories that supply these vital ingredients. Here's Stephanie Gosk.
Some of the most popular generic blood pressure medications on the market, recalled over and over, 45 times in less than a year. Certain batches of valsartan, losartan, and irbesartan.
I was really shocked.
Last summer, Denise Schreck got a chilling letter from her pharmacy.
The impurity has been classified as a probable human carcinogen.
Her blood pressure medicine, the one she takes daily, was tainted with a chemical linked to cancer.
Formerly used in the production of rocket fuel.
Rocket fuel.
In my medicine.
She started looking into it and realized something most Americans may not know. 85% of the factories making raw ingredients for U.S. drugs are outside the country, many in India and China where production costs are lower.
Growing up, we had the saying, you get what you pay for.
Masood Motammed spent 3 years as an FDA investigator inspecting pharmaceutical facilities overseas.
You're essentially the cop of the pharmaceutical world.
He's now speaking out for the first time.
As we continue to push the price down, companies are forced to find creative ways to make money.
Which means what?
Not adhering to our laws and regulations.
So,
more than a year before the recalls, Motammed flagged problems at the same factory in China that made Denise Schreck's medication.
You wrote in your audit that facilities and equipment are not maintained, anomalies in testing are not investigated. You found gaskets that were fraying, white particulates and residue on the equipment. All of that in a place that's making drugs intended for the U.S.
Correct.
What was your recommendation?
Official action, meaning FDA takes intervention.
And then what did the FDA do?
It was determined that official action was not required.
So you were overruled.
Correct.
But it wasn't just that plant. Take a look at his inspection report from this facility in India, also making drug ingredients that became part of the recall.
We were quite shocked to see that they were staying up all night shredding extensive amounts of documents right before our audit.
They were up all night shredding documents?
Correct. It means there's a systemic issue.
Motammed says there are too few qualified FDA inspectors and too few inspections. It wasn't until a pharmaceutical company detected a probable carcinogen in one of its ingredients that the FDA began asking for recalls.
This is tragic, and it's deeply concerning that people were exposed to this. It shouldn't have happened.
Scott Gottlieb was FDA commissioner when the recalls began and says it is unlikely the contamination would have been found on a routine inspection.
If you didn't know to look for this, this would have been very hard to detect.
In a statement, the FDA says it is investigating the root causes of the contamination and that the overall cancer risk to individual patients is small. Little comfort for Denise Schreck.
I have a 13-year-old son who's worried about his mom. He shouldn't have to worry about probable carcinogen in your medication.
Motammed, who left the FDA in 2017, warns the problem is much bigger than just blood pressure pills.
After seeing this recall, I wonder to myself, what about all the other drugs that you haven't tested?
And not just these plants.
Correct. This is, from my perspective, this is only the tip of the iceberg.
The Generic Drug Makers Association told us their drugs are safe regardless of where they are made, and they're working closely with the FDA. The drug company in China also says it's working with regulators. And Lester, as far as that company in India where Motammed said they were shredding documents, they did not respond to our questions.
All right, for all those people out there on these blood pressure medications, just watch your report. What should they do?
Well, the FDA says do not abruptly stop taking these medications. Check with your doctor, check with your pharmacist for alternatives. We also have a list on our Facebook page.
All right, Stephanie, thank you. Tonight, there is a growing problem threatening to deflate some of the